At the reunion, Victoria leaned back, voice dripping with amusement. "My sister can barely pay rent," she announced, making sure everyone at the table heard. Her laugh pierced the summer air. "Really? Working all those hours for $23 an hour? Some people just aren't cut out for success." She swirled her wine like a prop in a performance. I kept eating my salad, nodding slightly. My phone buzzed. The caller ID read, "Westbrook Academy Director's Office. Miss Chin, regarding your anonymous $85,000 annual tuition donations for your nieces, the Whitmores have requested we reveal the donor's identity. Should we stop the payments?" Victoria froze mid-sip. Growing up as the younger Chinotter meant living in her shadow. She was 3 years older, but in my memory, it felt like decades. Our parents, first-generation immigrants who built a thriving dry-cleaning business in Oakland, had very clear ideas about achievement. Victoria was their ideal: tall, confident, assertive. She married David Whitmore, a corporate lawyer from a family my parents admired, and gave them Madison and Sophia, 2 daughters attending one of the Bay Area's elite private schools. I was nothing like her. I remember being compared early on. At 7, Victoria, 10, won the district spelling bee. Family dinner at our favorite Chinese restaurant. My grandmother pinched Victoria's cheek. "She'll be someone important." Then she glanced at me, quietly eating noodles. "Mean is quieter. Maybe she'll find a husband to take care of her." I didn't understand what it meant, but I understood the message. At 12, I'd built a water filtration project for the science fair, won the school competition, and advanced to regionals. Victoria had a debate tournament that weekend. "Your sister's debates are what matter for college," my mother said. Science fair was a hobby. I placed 3rd at regionals. Nobody asked. At 15, I was accepted early to a Stanford summer program. Victoria had prom. My parents decided my opportunity wasn't worth splitting the family's attention. I didn't go. Prom photos dominate their living room. There's no trace of me at 15. Dad was different but clear. He invested in winners. Victoria graduated business school, $50,000 startup gift. I graduated with a computer science degree from State College, $200 check. "Now find a real job," he said. I found real jobs. And quietly, I discovered I had a gift: pattern recognition and systems thinking. By 22, while Victoria celebrated her engagement, I was developing a cybersecurity algorithm in my tiny apartment. By 23, I sold it for $340,000. Consulting contracts followed. At 25, I founded Chin Security Solutions. By 27, valued at $12 million, 30, $94 million, 32, acquisition offers over $300 million, each declined. I built something that mattered: systems safeguarding hospitals, schools, critical infrastructure. And along the way, I quietly helped Victoria's daughters. When I learned Madison and Sophia struggled to afford Westbrook Academy, I created an anonymous scholarship fund through my foundation. For years, $42,500 each, every tuition payment fully covered, without anyone knowing. Not for recognition, not for revenge, but because children deserved opportunity regardless of their mother's treatment of me. At the reunion, the family thought I was a modestly paid consultant. I drove a 7-year-old Honda. Wore ordinary clothes. Lived in a modest San Francisco condo. It was easier to let them assume. Until now. Victoria held court at the main table, regaling relatives with stories of Italy trips, luxury villas, and David's legal wins. Then she smirked at me: "My sister can barely afford rent, $23 an hour. Some of us are just born to succeed. Some aren't." I stayed calm, practiced. Aunt Linda tried to intervene. Victoria sighed, dramatic as ever. "You can't help someone who won't help themselves." My phone buzzed: Westbrook Academy Director's Office. I excused myself. "Miss Chin, Harold Peton." The Whitmores requested the identity of the scholarship donor. Should we reveal it? I looked back at Victoria, still performing. Give me 10 minutes, I said. I found a quiet bench and called my executive assistant. Christine, prepare full documentation on the Whitmore Children's Scholarship, donation records, applications, acceptance letters, and every payment over the past 4 years. Everything ready for disclosure. 20 minutes. Done. I ended the call and stayed on the bench, watching a mother duck guide her ducklings across the pond. The sun was warm, and somewhere behind me, Victoria was still performing for our relatives. What she didn't know, and no one in my family did, was that her comfortable life leaned on systems she had never questioned. David's law firm, Whitmore and Associates, relied heavily on 3 major clients for 71% of their revenue. 2 of them were subsidiaries of companies that contracted with Chin Security Solutions for cybersecurity. My team had introduced the connections. I hadn't nudged them to benefit David, but I could have. Victoria's so-called lifestyle consulting business had pulled in $35,000 in partnerships over 18 months via BrandBridge, an influencer platform I indirectly controlled through Cascade Ventures, 81% owned by my holding company, Pacific Growth Partners. I hadn't bought it to pad her income, it was a profitable investment, but the connection existed. Her children went to school because of me. Her business thrived because of me. Her husband's largest clients operated in an ecosystem I influenced. And she was loudly claiming in front of 40 relatives that I could barely pay rent. My phone buzzed again. Pristine documentation is ready, Christine said. I've included the full giving history for context. The Chin Educational Foundation has distributed $2.3 million in scholarships over 6 years, $340,000 of that for the Whitmore children. Thank you, Christine, I said. They should understand exactly what's been built, if they need to. She confirmed my schedule updates and the Northstar Healthcare deal, then wished me luck with my family. Back at the picnic, my father had arrived from golf, now at Victoria's table, fully attentive to his favorite daughter. My mother was photographing Madison and Sophia. Victoria noticed me and flashed a practiced smile. There she is. We were just talking about you, Min. Emily, I corrected calmly. Oh, right. Your American name, she said, turning to relatives. She thinks it looks better on resumes. I ignored her and returned to my salad. I was telling Dad, Victoria went on, about a career workshop I'm offering, basic professional skills, confidence, presentations, $500 a session, but I'd discount for family. That's thoughtful, I said lightly. My phone buzzed again. Director Peton. I answered without leaving the table. Miss Chin, have you decided regarding the Whitmore Scholarship disclosure? Yes, I said evenly. Please remove the anonymous designation. Inform Mrs. Whitmore that I personally funded their education, $85,000 annually, for the past 4 years. Victoria froze. The confident act vanished. Impossible, she whispered, brittle. You can't afford that. I didn't reply. Tell me you're joking, she demanded, tipping her wine glass. Red spread across the white tablecloth. I'm not joking, I said. My mother, confused, asked what was happening. Victoria explained, incredulous, that I had funded Madison and Sophia's education. My mother laughed. My phone buzzed again. This time, Howard Marcus from the Bay Area Community Foundation. I confirmed the disclosure of my $1.2 million contribution and total giving of $4.7 million. Timing might have seemed coincidental, but I knew better. The picnic went silent. 40 relatives, frozen. The final call came from Robert Torres at the San Francisco Business Journal. Chin Security Solutions is valued at $340 million, 93% ownership by you? Yes, I replied. Current internal valuation, $380 million. My mother went pale. $340 million? You work in computer support? I own a cybersecurity company, Mom. 10 years now. Victoria's hands shook, clutching the table. This is a trick. You hired people to call us. Director Peton has been at Westbrook for 12 years. Every payment is documented, $42,500 per child per year for 4 years. Total, $340,000. But why? Why now? Because Madison and Sophia deserved it. And because you never asked. David realized the truth, their major clients all used Chin Security Solutions. $8.2 million in revenue touched his firm, courtesy of my company. My father's face shifted through emotions I'd never seen: disbelief, shame, awe. You built a $340 million company. And you never told us. You never asked. You assumed. The silence was absolute. Even the birds had stopped. Victoria finally gasped, "The scholarship, you can't take it away." I won't. Their education continues regardless of family matters. Then why reveal it? You asked. You wanted to know who was behind it. I obliged, at your requested social level. I watched her flinch at her own words. My mother's expression cycled through calculations she'd been practicing her whole life: family hierarchy, influence, narrative control. Emily, she said carefully, as if seeing me for the first time, we should discuss this privately. Family matters should remain family matters. You didn't seem to think so. Victoria's claim about my salary left my mother opening and closing her mouth silently. I continued, calm. The potato salad, the one I brought? Someone moved it to the back table. What does that have to do with anything? Nothing. Just felt relevant. My phone buzzed. Christine again. Emily, I'm sorry, but this has escalated. Multiple media outlets are calling. Word of the foundation disclosure reached the Business Journal's social reporter. They want comments on the supposed Bay Area billionaire family feud. Billionaire is inaccurate. I know, but it's trending. Want me to respond? Say nothing. Private family matter. Christine acknowledged and hung up. Victoria's tears were no longer theatrical, they were real, mascara-streaked and shaking. How could you do this to me? Humiliate me like this? Something inside me shifted. All the patience and restraint of decades bent toward clarity. Victoria, I said softly, I've quietly funded your children's education for 4 years. I've watched you mock my life, my career, my choices at every gathering. I asked for nothing, expected nothing, never reminded you that your daughters go to school because of me. Today, you announced to 40 relatives that I couldn't pay rent, while wearing a dress bought with money from a platform I own 81% of, while your husband collects fees from clients who rely on my security systems, while your children attend school on my foundation scholarship. Victoria sobbed harder. I didn't humiliate you. I answered a call. You humiliated yourself. The following days unfolded unexpectedly. The Business Journal story ran, highlighting the Chin Educational Foundation, my company's growth, and the gap between perception and reality. My PR team managed it well. But Victoria's lifestyle consulting business came under scrutiny. A junior reporter noticed the brand bridge link. Within 48 hours, 3 of her partnerships quietly ended, not because of me, but because brands avoid public embarrassment. David called on day 3, voice tense. Emily, the firm's clients, are you going to influence them? The contracts? No, I said firmly. Business relationships remain business. Your clients chose my company for its quality, not family politics. But you could. Yes. And I choose not to. Long pause. Why not, after what Victoria said? Because her career isn't the point. And Madison and Sophia need stability. I won't hurt my nieces to punish my sister. Another pause. Thank you. Don't thank me. Just think about why you're relieved I'm not the person Victoria assumed I was. By day 5, my mother called. The family won't stop talking. Aunt Linda is spreading it. Cousins are calling. Great-uncle Francis from Taipei even called. You could correct them, she said. No, Mom. The reports are accurate. In fact, they understate reality. The family will think what they want. I won't lie to protect Victoria. She had 47 chances to treat me as a person, and she didn't. You didn't know, my mother whispered. You didn't want to know, I replied. 3 weeks later, I received an invitation to Madison's 12th birthday. Victoria had sent it, the first direct communication since the reunion. Her note, please come. The girls miss you. I think we need to talk. At the door, Victoria's voice was smaller than ever. Thank you for coming. I came for Madison. I know. Inside, the girls played in the backyard. The house was beautiful but visibly strained financially, mortgage stretched, clients relocated. Victoria led me to the living room. I've been thinking, she began, about everything, my life, really. I convinced myself you were less than me. I needed to believe that because if you were successful, what did that make me? The older sister who peaked at 30 and never figured out what came next. That's not my problem, Victoria. I know. I'm not asking you to fix it. Just, to understand. I understand you were cruel. You were encouraged to be, and you chose it because it felt safe. And now your business is failing, your husband distant, and your children are in school thanks to me. She began crying again. I didn't feel satisfaction, just clarity. What do you want? I asked. I don't know. I never learned how to have a sister I respect. Then learn. The party was lovely. Madison and Sophia were curious and sharp, absorbing the shifts in our family. Aunt Emily, Madison asked quietly, is it true you paid for our school? Yes, I said. Why didn't you tell us? Because it wasn't about credit. It was about opportunity. Madison processed this. I feel confused, and I want to know more about your company. We can talk anytime, I said. Later, I spoke to Victoria in the kitchen. I told her the truth, I said. Good, Victoria admitted slowly. That's good. I won't erase 30 years of memories. But I also won't spend the next 30 punishing you. That wouldn't be me. What do you want from me? I want you to know the real me, not the sister you imagined. Me, the one who built all this while you weren't looking. I want to try, she said. Then we try, with boundaries. No comments about my career, no comparisons, no assumptions, no family theater. Real conversations, or nothing. It's a lot. It is. But it's necessary. She nodded. Okay. I left, my Honda parked humbly beside their luxury cars. Some things matter less than people assume. 2 months later, Madison texted. Hi, Aunt Emily. Can we have lunch? Sophia wants to come too. You're the interesting aunt now. I smiled. Saturday works. Tell Sophia I agree about the interesting part. I returned to my desk. The healthcare network contract closed. Opportunities awaited. Outside my window, San Francisco shimmered. I had spent 30 years underestimated, 10 years building quietly. Now I was finally building something else, a family that truly knew me. It was worth it.